Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about how the Disney bosses apparently explained why there's a lack of Star Wars movies. So let's give this a shot, shall we? There are beloved movie franchises, and there are Star Wars. Generations of moviegoers grew up with George Lucas, galaxies far, far away, resulting in a massive fan base. And while the property contains continues to expand thanks to live action shows on Disney Plus, there haven't been any movies start production since 2019. The Rise of Skywalker. While a number of projects were announced and scrapped, it's currently unclear when it's finally returned to theaters. A Disney executive recently spoke to this, saying, "We're being very careful," whatever that's supposed to mean. A ton of Star Wars content has arrived since Disney acquired Lucasfilm, including the sequel trilogy, Theme Park Land, and shows like The Mandalorian. But fans have been curious about when a new movie might finally start active development, especially since so many potential projects have been announced over the years. Disney boss Bob Iger recently spoke at an investors conference via THR, where he addressed the recent lack of movie content. He name dropped the standalone movies that briefly arrived, saying, "There have I don't see where he says it, but I guess essentially because we're trying to be careful. I don't know. That's my guess. But there you heard it. It looks like a major development on Star Wars movie has been as a purposeful choice by the studio who wants to be purposeful with a massive budget required transport audience to George Lucas' colorful world. And given that Solo Star Wars movie was the franchise's first box office disappointment, the stakes certainly feel high. Bob Iger's comments offer a rare peek behind the curtain regarding how Disney is approaching the Star Wars franchise as a whole, while the studio continues to lean heavily on the beloved IP. It's not just throwing money away on potential movies. Perhaps it's for this reason that Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie was put on an indefinite hold before being scrapped altogether. We'll just have to wait and see when a new movie installment finally begins production. Previously mentioned, fans were treated to some exciting Star Wars movies announcements, the majority of which didn't play out. While it looked like Rogue Squadron would be the first post-Skywalker saga movie, that movie ended up being scrapped. Right now, there are still two well-known directors attached to the work on their installments of the space opera, namely Rian Johnson and Taika Waititi, which I highly doubt that Rian Johnson is going to do his trilogy. It's been like 5 years that since it was announced he was going to have a Star Wars film. You would think, with as big as Star Wars is, he would at least have some movie arcs or story ideas. None whatsoever. And I would love to hear an update about his Star Wars film. I would. Will I see it? I don't know. But I highly doubt it. Let's be real. But I would love to hear an update on his movie film, whether what he's got, because it was announced a little bit before the Last Jedi came out. We were gonna get Last Jedi Rian Johnson trilogy. That has been put him flourishing. Rian Johnson's been focused on other fandoms, making other movies. Like I said, you would think after like at least 5 years, 6 years, he would have a movie set, or at least an idea of what he wants to do. We heard nothing, no updates. So I highly doubt that Rian Johnson's trilogy is going to be made. Anyways, but it's unclear if /when real development and eventual filming will occur. While fans wait for a new Star Wars movie, they can tune into Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Well, now it's Season 3. In the meantime, check out the 2023 movie release dates planned for your next movie experience. I think the reason why Solo lost money, or just something Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers does, is because of it came out it was the movie that came out of The Last Jedi, right? That movie was poorly received. I will go on record saying at first I really enjoyed The Last Jedi, but after I watched it a few more times, said, this movie ain't as good as I thought it was going to. I would love to have a Star Wars movie that was really good. I think the last good Star Wars movie technically has been Rogue One. The Force Awakens was a pretty solid start. I'll give them that. Rogue One was pretty good. Solo was a fun movie, but wasn't a good Star Wars movie. The Last Jedi was Let's be real. And then I think we had to wait 2 years between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. And Rise of Skywalker was also So, sure, they got Mandalorian, who has been decent. Book of Boba Fett, which could have been better. Which I'm hoping they have season 2 and kind of get better, because I actually got faith if they do a season 2 of Book of Boba Fett that they, from what I've heard, they learned and they would do it better. So I got faith in Book of Boba. Kenobi was Clone Wars 6 to 7 was good. Tales of the Jedi was good. Visions was good. Rebels was pretty good. Resistance was I think what Liam Neeson recently said about all this Star Wars content is kind of diluting the brand is also correct. And I think it's most of the shows. I'm not saying that, I think it wouldn't exactly matter as much if we had a lot of Star Wars content if 90% of those Star Wars content were good. Because look at Star Wars Legends. We got video games, books. We had one series at a time, which was Clone Wars. Well, 2 versions of Clone Wars, take your pick. But we had games, more games than we're currently doing this Star Wars umbrella. So, for the most part, it was good stories, in my opinion. 90% of the stories I've seen in games, or read, or watched on TV, I'm referring to the Clone Wars, I enjoyed for the most part. So, yeah, this just seems lazy. I'm sorry, this just seems lazy. I want to be supportive of Disney Star Wars, but I can't right now. In terms of movies, because it seems like they're creating excuses. I'm sorry, it does seem like they are creating excuses. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was 11. And all I want is for Star Wars to be universally good again. And to have that passion again. I felt like Last Jedi didn't have that passion, didn't have that care. Rise of Skywalker might have had some of that care, but didn't have that passion. It was busy trying to undo the mistakes of the last Jedi while trying to say something new, which could have worked, potentially worked, but it didn't because it didn't have the care, as much care as it should have been, or as much passion, if that makes sense. And bringing back Dark Sidious was a cheap move. So, anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section down below. Love you guys. Have one of a day. Be kind one another. I will talk to you fellow musicians later. May the force be with us all.